This is a normal Minecraft world and this is a one block, and today I'm going to survive 100 days on it. And if you don't know what a one block is, that's actually kind of impressive. A one block world is exactly what it sounds like. A single block that regenerates every time you break it, and it does that forever, slowly progressing through 10 different phases, starting with dirt and stone, then biomes, dungeons and entire dimensions, and eventually the end. By the end of this challenge, this tiny dirt block needs to become a massive island civilization. I'll need to defeat every boss, get the best gear in Minecraft, and try not to lose my mind somewhere around day 47. Anyway, sounds easy. No. How could you possibly think that this is the hardest challenge I have ever attempted? So sit back, relax, and enjoy 100 days on one block. And there it was, the world of endless suffering. I mean, fun. As expected, I started on a single block, and honestly, what else I was supposed to expect? Floating in front of me, there was a bunch of mysterious symbols that apparently formed words. Unfortunately, they weren't very useful because I can't read. For a brief moment, I forgot I was a Minecraft YouTuber and decided to dodge grass. But after realizing my mistake, I immediately put it back. And just like that, I double the size of my world. People say I don't understand progress. I think this is proves otherwise. After mining even more dirt and seeing even more floating symbols, I got my second block and no block. And even some more random X. I'm not expert, but that seemed useful. When a pig showed up, or as I call them, future pork chop. Using my new assistant, I decided to test whether the void was actually real, because I have seen a few shorts and judging by the results, everything was working perfectly. Many blocks later, I started recognizing a few words, and the word adventure has never led to anything good. After getting my first oak sapling, I decided it was finally time to turn on shaders. And just like that, phase 1 tutorial was complete. Next up, phase 2. Points. Phase 2 started with crafting my very first tools. An axe, a shovel, the essentials. Around the same time our first tree finally grew. Environmentalist, look away, I'm about to destroy 100% of the world's forest. Oh, one tree of it. After a few new blocks, my old friend Future Pork Chops come back, and not long after that, some spicy KFC wings showed up, and even a whole steak. Things were really working up. What a beautiful sunset. Are you agree, Piggy? And finally, something useful. 1/3 of a bed. Or just a ship. At this point, the island was starting to feel a little crowded. Apparently, overpopulation is a problem even when you live on a floating block in the middle of nowhere. Luckily, the solution was simple, make the island bigger. So, for the rest of the phase, I spent my time doing a little bit of everything. Gathering resources, expanding the island, trying not to fall into the void, the usuals, and before I knew it, phase 3 began, underground. As soon as phase 3 began, I mined some stone and crafted a full set of stone tools. Not exactly impressive, but definitely an upgrade. I also started my very first farm. It's not much, but hey, this is a start. And then my first iron. Now, as for the rabbits, I don't even need to explain anything. They run around, they jump, they fall into the void. I did manage to save one of them, but then I realized something. Instead of letting them fall into the void, I could just eat them. Much more efficient, Oh, delicious. With the iron I collected, I crafted a pair of shears and gave a sheep a fresh haircut. And finally, I made myself a bed. And now you are not becoming a steak. You might actually be useful because if I can get some bowls, I will have an infinite supply of mushroom soup. Then this little green menace showed up. Not only did he scare me so badly, I nearly jumped out of my chair. He almost blew up half of the island. Thankfully, disaster was avoided. Later that evening, I had a brilliant idea. Build an animal pen. Building it wasn't the problem, getting the animals inside was a completely different story. Oh, a spider. Too bad that I'm arachnophobic. We could have been friends. And now 2 zombies. Look at those heads. I want one. Oh yeah, now I have a head too. A potato or more zombies? Just look at these rabbits. Oh, I think that's your cousin. That's unfortunate. After that, everything became strangely peaceful. I was doing a little bit of everything at once, expanding the iron, collecting more animals, planting crops, killing zombies, finding iron, getting an armor stand, and before I knew it, phase 3 was already over. Next up, phase 4, Tundra. I also was given a map, but at this point there wasn't exactly much to look at, so I decided to make a small display board where I could track how the iron changed over time, assuming I remembered to update it. After mining my first snow blocks and getting my first gold, I was rewarded with an arrow to the face. That was unpleasant. Oh, a gold! And an actual fox. Of course, the fox immediately decided that the KFC wings I had been saving were actually hers, and happily ate them. Just like that, I have out of chickens. But honestly, I couldn't be even mad. She needed them more than I did, probably. After getting my first spruce tree, I realized that I still don't have a house. A problem was space, or more specifically, the complete lack of it. So let me introduce you to my greatest invention, coarse dirt. You combine 2 dirt and 2 gravel to make 4 coarse dirt. Then you till it back into regular dirt, which basically means legal dirt duplication. And just like that, I had all the land I needed to expand the island. Oh, a chicken! Be careful, there's a fox over there. Never mind. You know, I can't help you if you don't want to be helped. What the heck, goat? Are you actually trying to push me off an island? You have completely lost your mind. Oh, great, finally a winter edition of a future pork chops. Exactly what I needed. A wolf, come on, be my friend. Don't eat the sheep. Bad dog, bad, very bad. I'm sorry. He probably deserved that. Sorry, Woogie, but the fox is mine. She still wants me for the chickens. Monster party, what does that even mean? I have absolutely no idea, but I'm sure you will handle it. Oh, thanks. You're welcome. After gathering even more dirt, I finally organized all my chests, and right in the middle of a fight with a skeleton, the goat apparently forgot whose side he was on and watched me straight towards the void. He had a very serious conversation after that. I also built a separate pen for my premium KFC collection, and thankfully that phase finally came into the end. Other than a ridiculous amount of stress caused by mobs, I gained basically nothing. Next up, the ocean. As soon as the ocean phase began, I decided it was finally time to build a house. And for the next days, that's exactly what I did. At least until the ghost started testing my patience. I wanted to move them into the KFC pan, but I think this picture explains how that went. At this rate, I'm going to be forced to eat healthy food, I think. Then I remembered something. Wait, I still don't have a house. After 3 failed roof designs, I finally found one I liked and immediately ran out of spruce planks. Perfect, as always. So I planted another spruce tree and waited. Oh, look, one of those shelf things. Leave, please. Actually, I have absolutely no idea what to do with you. A drone with a trident? No trident, but at least I got some water. Since the spruce tree clearly wasn't interested in growing, I decided to build an aquarium, a proper home for all the ocean creatures. I would rate it a solid like 4 out of 10. Maybe a 5 if you're feeling generous. At least I finally crafted a full set of iron armor and got myself diamond. These guardians somehow jump worse than rabbits. The first fish for an aquarium and even a puffer fish. Spruce tree update? Still nothing. Oh my god, an axolotl! The problem is that if I put him in the aquarium, he will eat all the fish, which seems slightly counterproductive. So into the chest he goes. Don't judge me. As for you, I don't feel bad at all. A drone riding a Nautilus? You're useless, but your ride is coming with me into the aquarium. Or maybe not. Another monster party? That felt suspiciously easy. Apparently, you can't put armor on a Nautilus, which seems like a massive missed opportunity. Spruce tree update? Still nothing. When I ate the puffer fish? Don't ask. added some water into the aquarium, and celebrated vacation with some KFC finally. The dolphins had the same problems as the rabbits. They were constantly trying to leave this world behind. Oh no, tadpoles, quick, quick! Save as many as possible! Not bad at all. Another axolotl into the chest. Spruce tree update? You know, I'm starting to take this personally. At least I got the oversight, one of my favorite music discs. Anyway, back to the house. I covered every spruce log I could find, smelted some glass, and got back to building. Then I decided that roof should be made out of stone. The only problem was that I already spent all my stone on the aquarium. So the second floor walls it is. Honestly, it doesn't look too bad. Another axolotl, into the chest. At this point, the chest was becoming more of an aquarium than the aquarium itself when I died to drown for the first time ever, which was slightly embarrassing. But finally, the next phase arrived, jungle and dungeon. I started the phase by watching the frogs, destroying my farm and building much bigger next to my house. I also finally put a floor inside the house, fancy, I know, and built a proper roof. And I also tamed the parrot. It's looking pretty strange on my shoulder. After mining a few more blocks and getting smacked into the face by which, I went back to working on the house. I built the second floor, added some decorations outside, and covered the entire island in plants. Productive activities. I even baked a pumpkin pie and it was so good. It was one of the most delicious meals I have ever got. Everything was going perfectly. The island was making a great progress. The house was looking better than ever. And then Vexes, that those tiny little demons that move through walls and swing iron swords around for fun. They killed me twice. I even lost my chest plate. And what did I get in return? Absolutely nothing, thanks Minecraft. After that I made even more progress on the house and honestly it was looking fantastic. At this point I should have probably stopped being scared of monster parties. Flying shields however, those will never stop terrifying me. Thankfully that one was pretty easy. For the rest of the phase, I continued doing everything and nothing at the same time. Mining potatoes, mining blocks, getting bullied by witches, the usuals. I also died to bogged. Also, you know what? In many Slavic languages, the word God sounds like a bog. So basically, I died to God on one of the languages, which sounds a lot more impressive. Of course, I also got a lava chicken music disc because apparently every Minecraft world comes with one. And just like that, the phase was over. I'm practically speedrunning. Next I have the Red Desert, or if I remember correctly, it's actually called a mesa. After making it through half of the phases, I thought there was nothing left that could surprise me. Naturally, I started this phase by dying to another phase, because apparently one wasn't enough. One interesting thing about suspicious sand is that if you just break it, you get absolutely nothing. But if you use brush, not only you get the hidden item, but also you get the sand block itself, which feels a little unfair. Oh great, a Vindicator, just what I needed. A villager, however, I will never say no to one of those. And where exactly are you going, Pamela? Oh, my bed, of course. Looks like I'm sleeping downstairs tonight. Oh, a sniper duel? My mind is on that guy. Almost? Wait, why did you die? Who gave you permission to do that? I have to admit though, the island was starting to look really good from up here. A wandering trader? Maybe Minecraft gods bless you with something useful. A cherry sapling? You know what? I will take it. Thank you. Oh, a villagers. A brand new diamond pickaxe and find D and whatever this thing is. The machine gun mounted on the back. And our wandering trader. Maybe dry grass might actually be useful. Monster party? Okay. Now we're in trouble, like really in trouble. And to make things even worse, they killed my villager. I genuinely had no idea what to do anymore. Thankfully another one showed up later. That's better, but now I couldn't breed them anymore, and I wasn't about to repeat my previous mistake. You are staying in the boat, right here. You can't get me now. Oh, but I can definitely get you. Camels, please stop getting in the way. At this point I realized this was basically the villager phase, and since I already managed to lose one of them, there wasn't much left for me here. So let's mine the rest of the blocks and move on to the next phase. Wait, did we finally make it? But never. Yippee, this is where things get bad. If you thought the previous phases were difficult, just wait, because now we have piglin broods, gas and blazes, and I'm having a feeling we are all about to make my life miserable. I started this phase by expanding the island. This section was going to become a desert and mesa biome, complete with the terracotta mountains in the background. First I built the outline, then I covered the entire thing with wooden slabs, because sand has this annoying habit of falling, you know. Only after that did I place the red sand and then the regular sand. As for the mountains, I tried to make them look as random and natural as possible. The problem was that I barely had any terracotta. So what you see here is the result of me doing the best I could with what I had. After blending the sand into the grass, I added some cacti and dry grass. See, I told you it would come in handy. And just like that, my first day on the island came to an end. My first real day, technically. I already survived around 30 Minecraft days. Anyway, although survived might be a generous description. The next morning started with more work on the house and more mining. And of course, a piglin brood. Honestly, I would describe him like this. This tiny little with 25 HP, he will kill you first and then somehow find your entire family, and you probably understood what is gonna happen there. After mining a few more blocks and defeating my first blaze, I quickly learned that those things need to die immediately. Otherwise, half of the island is gonna be up in flames. First obsidian, second obsidian, and third obsidian. And then my first ancient debris. More pigs, lava monster. Oh, that was actually pretty cool. And another one? Wait a second, something isn't right. Where did all my aquatic mobs go? This aquarium is cursed or something like that? At this point I was progressing through the one block faster than I ever before. And this part was classic. I kept breaking blocks and nobody could break me. Well, almost nobody. Most of the party were still absolutely destroying me. I couldn't get anything done. And then there was the blaze. Those little pyromaniacs. They burned down my world map board with my tiny little world, but still my world. And they also destroyed my diamond pickaxe. Now, that I will never forgive. Every diamond I own is worth as an entire chest of gold, you know? Actually, that sounds sweet. Let's move on. For the rest of this phase, I did what I would been doing all along, mining the one block. Occasionally stopping to avoid being murdered. But despite everything, things were finally starting to improve, and with that the next phase began. Eido. Judging by the drops, this phase was basically all about quartz and ores. Very nice, I think. Phantoms, however, not nice at all. Baby slimes on the other hand are adorable. At this point, I decided the island needed even more expansion. This section was going to become a Nether area, complete with different Nether biomes, and as always I started with the outline. When I looked at it, thought, yeah, that's way too small, so I made it bigger. Then I built a Nether portal, mostly because I had run out of netherrack. Oh, a Nether fortress. That may be useful. I mined some more netherrack and continue building the island while adding the different biomes. Then I ran out of netherrack again, and then again, unfortunately. The important thing about this section of the island is that it's not just decorations. This is where my future mob farm is going to be. Oh, ignore that. Lag, definitely lag. Of course, I didn't have enough netherrack bricks either. So back to the fortress I went. When I come back, I continue building. and honestly, everything seemed to be working. After all of that, I would have been a crime not to mine even more one block. So that's exactly what I did. Bees are very strange creatures. They sting you and then immediately fly around like nothing happened. So I naturally hit them back and somehow they forgave me and stopped attacking. I don't understand them at all, like what the hell, man? I made a little house for bees and for once I survived a monster party. I killed a few mobs, tried to tame a cat, failed miserably, so I crafted a fishing rod and went fishing instead. It's kinda strange, there is a single pufferfish swimming around this tiny bubble, yet somehow I'm catching literally everything except the pufferfish. Oh, also pufferfish. Eventually I did tame a cat, brought him home and let him guard the house. Since my armor was looking pretty rough, I decided to start trading with my villager. I even bought a new pair of leggings, for which I am very grateful. Unfortunately, they didn't really solve the problem, because my chestplate broke immediately afterward. After a long fishing session that somehow resulted in donkey and complete confusion, I got a cake and it looked delicious. Oh, the base is spinning. Or maybe dancing. Either way, I decided that was a perfect note to end the phase on. And with that, the next phase began. This awaited land, the second to last phase. Like any sane person, sadly that I'm not one of them, I decided to build a small house around the one block. The idea was simple. It would protect me from the hostile mobs and send them straight into the void. Now, did I fully trust my engineering skills? Absolutely not. But it was the best plan I had. A skeleton fell into the void, a creeper fell into the void. So, success, I guess. The two priests showed up, took one look at my masterpiece, spat in my face and casually escaped. Apparently, this island has some kind of competition for the best void jump. First it was rabbits, then the dolphins and guardians, but the priest completely raised the bar. I have never seen jumps like that before. Then this camel husk spent about 10 minutes making it impossible for me to mine the block. I warned him, if he didn't move, I'm going to kill him. He didn't move, so don't blame me. I literally built an entire biome for mobs like him, you know? After trading with my villager, a zombie decided to introduce my face to his sharpened stick. Then he immediately lost interest and he started chasing a bee instead, which made me finishing him off surprisingly easy. Thanks, bee. Things were going so well that I even decided to cook some potatoes. Then an evoker appeared and surprisingly completely destroyed me. But like a true professional, I shot him with a crossbow and finished him off with a spear. Say whatever you want, but Totem of Dimes are awesome. A little later I got a zombie villager, so I put him in a boat and planned to cure him later. Then the skeleton showed up and then, you know, the warden hit me once and I died immediately. At first I thought, he's so stinky, he would definitely fall into the void, you know, in my trap. Yeah, no, not even close. I tried everything, luring him away from the other mobs, getting his attention, running around the island. Every single attempt ended with me getting obliterated. Eventually I realized there was only one solution, split him all over the island. I tried once, twice, 3 times, nothing, absolutely zero progress. When I finally came up with a plan, using a resin block I somehow managed to send him on an all expenses paid vacation to Kazakhstan. Problem was solved. Since I lost basically everything, I crafted whatever armor and tools I could afford. After that I spent almost all the time mining the one block. Almost. By the way, the zombie villager is gone. Let's not talk about it, and just like that the phase was over. Now you might be wondering, why am I rushing through the one block so quickly? And the answer is simple. I need an end portal, and I need access to the end. Speaking of which, the final phase had finally arrived, the end. Since this was the final phase, something inside me awaked. A second wind, or maybe a third. So I spent almost all of my time mining the one block. Every now and then I would get distracted by the Enderman. Threw a few Endermans into the void, which by the way was surprisingly entertaining, and deal with the occasional shulker. What kind of tree even is this? It grows frogs? Honestly, Minecraft agriculture has gotten out of hand. But other than that, I just kept money. And with every block I broke, the end felt a little closer. Wait, I literally just said that. And portal. Which meant it was finally time to prepare for my journey. Alright, here's the plan. I'm not going into the end to kill the Ender Dragon. I mean, come on, do you seriously think I will survive that? Exactly. As the great Canadian once said, think smart, not hard. So, as soon as I enter the end, I'm going to build a flying machine. That flying machine will take me all the way to the outer islands. Then I would go the end cities until I get the proper gear. And from that point, I would travel using a white rod and fireworks. You know, the fireworks I have been collecting materials for during the entire challenge. Now you may have noticed one small problem. The Ender Dragon would still be alive, and I would very much prefer not to fight her. So my solution was simple, build an Ender Pearl stasis chamber, and hopefully get teleported back home a couple of hours later. Now, if I'm telling you this story right now, you can probably guess what happened. Hint, everything went wrong. But first, let's test the Ender Pearl, and somehow it actually worked. These were all the materials I needed for the flying machine, Ender Pearls, fireworks, and yes, a diamond helmet and diamond boots, which isn't exactly a full diamond armor, but confidence is free. Hopefully, by the time I return from the end, I will be covered in diamonds. After crafting the first few items and making sure I hadn't forgotten anything important, I took a deep breath, looked at the island one last time, actually not really, and stepped into the end. After building the flying machine, not there, after rebuilding the flying machine in the correct location, I set off on a long journey across the endless void. Eventually I reached the outer islands and immediately sent my spaceship back home by accident, which was slightly concerning because I might need it later if something went wrong. So after risking absolutely everything, I somehow managed to get it back. As soon as I spotted my first end city, I carefully bridged over. Well, carefully might be a strong word, but somehow I made it. The first thing I did was climb onto the end ship, where I got a white rum and my first real piece of armor. And with that, my adventure in the end truly began. I flew from city to city, from chest to chest, collecting loot faster than I had ever before. At one point, I even managed to lose my shulker box. You know, the one containing all the imported stuff, which was fantastic experience. Fortunately, I found it, because explaining that have been very embarrassing. I spent 1 hour in the end, 2 hours, and eventually I started worrying that I might never make it home. I would have been trapped in space forever. Now that's a bad place, property prices seems pretty reasonable. That's when I decided to double check the timer on my Ender Pearl stasis chamber. And that's when I discovered a small problem, a very small problem. I had set it for 8 hours. 8 freaking hours! Do you understand how insane it is? That's 24 Minecraft days. I wasn't waiting that long, so I returned to the main island and absolutely destroyed the Ender Dragon. Turns out she's a lot less scary when you have spent 70 days getting bullied by literally everything else. While I was there, I also collected some dragon breath, and don't worry, I didn't forget the dragon egg. Everything that's mine comes with me. And just like that, welcome home. Then I checked the stasis chamber, and for some reason, there wasn't even an Ender Pearl inside, meaning the entire plan would have been failed from the very beginning. So after over 20, my master strategy never had a chance, which honestly explains a lot of this challenge. After placing the dragon egg where it belongs, I decided to spend the remaining days improving the island. transforming it from a single dirt block into a massive multi-biome island. And this is what I brought back from the end. A pretty decent wood, I think. With all that behind me, it was finally time to improve the island. Naturally, I started by getting more dirt, by turning dirt into coarse dirt, and then turning coarse dirt back into dirt. Don't ask questions. Minecraft science is beyond our understanding. Eventually, I ran out of gravel, which made a quick trip to the Nether, because apparently even making dirt requires international travel now. After finishing one platform, I immediately started working on the next one. When I ran out of dirt again, at this point, I was beginning to suspect that dirt might actually be finite. I checked on my animals and quickly realized things were not going well. Like, really not well. So I decided to expand their pen. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough wood, which meant that in order to do one thing, I had to do 3 completely different things. A basic Minecraft experience. This new section of the island was going to become a jungle biome, so naturally I covered everything in trees and bamboo. Wooden bamboo and a reasonable amount of bamboo. I also expanded my farm, or at least what I generously call it a farm. I planted wheat, potatoes, added a fence, and suddenly it looked almost professional. After that, I returned to the massive biome, removed all the blocks that clearly didn't belong there. Then I gathered some spruce wood and decided to build another house. The entire design was based on the simple principle: use all the blocks sitting in my chest collecting dust. Surprisingly, it actually worked. Inside the house I built a sugarcane farm, and honestly, it didn't look that bad. With even more dirt available, I decided to expand the island behind my house. The area would become a mangrove swamp, mud, water, trees, and mosquitoes. Well, not mosquitoes, thankfully Minecraft hasn't got that far yet. Then I remembered something. A rabbit. The rabbit I had rescued during the first few days. So I brought him home, I named the cat Henry, and the rabbit race car. Don't ask, it made sense at the time. Later I looked over at my Nether biome and immediately got scared. It looked terrible, so I gathered some materials from the Nether and gave it complete makeover. Added more details, more life, more colors, even a quartz pathway somehow fit perfectly. And yes, I remember the portal this time. After that, I returned to the mesa one last time, improved the mountains, added some more shapes and details, and somehow the entire biome looked 5 times better, which made me very happy. For the first time in a long while, the island was starting to feel like a real world, and not just a place where everything was completely trying to kill me. And if nothing was trying to kill me anymore, maybe it was finally time to save some lives. I looked over a hole filled with water that I had caught in an aquarium. I got scared, crossed myself, and decided it was time to build a proper pond. I filled it with water, added corals, lily pads, and a bunch of other decorations. Then I put some turtle eggs and waited for them to hatch. I had become a conservationist, a sentence that nobody expected to hear me after a previous 90 days. The very next morning I woke up and immediately flew over to protect them from the monsters. Apparently, saving lives isn't really my specialty. On the part of the island where I had been committing deforestation for the entire challenge, I decided to create a spruce forest. You know, restore nature after personally destroying it. I did boulders, a giant tree, some mushrooms, and honestly, it looked pretty good, not bad at all, like a real forest. While I was searching through my storage, I found some endstone, which gave me an idea. An ant island. Of course, I immediately ran out of endstone, because running out of materials is basically a theme of this challenge. Fortunately, I solved the problem, although it took 2 trips to get endstone. In the center of the island, I decided to build a small ant city. How hard could it be? Oh, famous last words. And after all that work, here was the result. Yeah, I probably should have left it unbuilt. Some things looks much better in your imagination. Still, at least now I had a proof that not every project I start is a good idea. Of course, 90 days of adventures weren't enough for me, so I decided to fight all 3 bosses at the same time, because apparently I hate myself. I started preparing by enchanting my armor and weapons. That's actually a pretty good bow. Then I brewed a bunch of potions. I already had 2 wither skulls ready, and I even had the item needed to summon an elder guardian. Next I crafted 4 ant crystals, in other words, future dragon. While looking at my empty point, I remembered the Exodos. I named the Jumper in honor of the mobs who jumped off the island or being pushed off. Hopper because of his point, Hope was pretty much all I had left. And Mr. Brown because why not? They seemed pretty happy. Hopefully happier than I was about to be. Before the battle of the century, I still needed one more River Skeleton skull. The fortress I had been farming clearly hated me, so I made a strategic decision, leave. On the way, I found a goat, a horse that had seen better days, and surprisingly amount of gold, which I definitely borrowed legally. After finding another fortress, I got the final skull almost immediately, but there was something much more valuable, the portal to the home, and maybe my sanity too. So I built another portal and flew back over the void. Back at the island, I finished the truly important preparations, cooking potatoes because no legendary boss battles should be fought on empty stomach. I finished my enchantments, evicted the villager from my house, and said goodbye to all my friends, just in case things went horribly wrong, which knowing me was very possible. Once I arrived in the end, I placed the ant crystals and started summoning the ender dragon. Then the weaver exploded on the crystals, of course he did, which meant I had to summon the dragon all over again, including another trip to the Nether. Very fun, 10 out of 10 experience, I said. Eventually everything was ready. I spawned the Elder Guardian and the challenge officially began. 3 bosses, 1 island, and a player whose point had already failed twice before the fight even started. A few minutes later I managed to knock him into the void, and just like that the fish was gone, 1 boss down. Then I turned my attention to an ender dragon. I destroyed all the crystals. I tried to shoot him, missed again, and missed a few more times for good measure. So instead I focused on the weaver. My spear aim wasn't exactly professional level, but when the weaver made a terrible life choice and got himself stuck inside an obsidian pillar, I took half of his health with bow and the rest with my sword. That left only the ender dragon. After a surprisingly short fight, I brought him down for the second time. And just like that, all 3 bosses were defeated. Since there were still 2 days left in the challenge, I decided to build a beacon as large as possible. Surprisingly, even a freeware beacon looked pretty awesome. Honestly, not bad for 100 days of work. This entire world started as a single block, and now it looks like this, which either means I'm really good at Minecraft or I desperately need a job, probably both of them. There was no island, no resources, no plan, just 1 block. Now we have defeated every boss, collected the best gear in Minecraft, built an entire civilization, and somehow turned a single generating block into all of this. Honestly, I would call it a success. Anyway, that's been 100 days on 1 block. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and leaving a like down below. I am Juni is been with you, and as always, bye, see you soon, good luck.